Just wanted to make a video for those of you that are interested in some of the supplies and tools that we use here during calving season. Now we typically try to get these ready a few weeks to maybe a month out before our first expected calf. Give us plenty of time to get things rounded up and pick up things that we may need. There's plenty of variations to all this, probably depending on your local co-op or ag supply in your area. But here I'll just walk through some of the ones that we use and the styles we use. And so I'll start here with the ear tags. I use the Ytex brand. They've got a backing plate that goes inside this hole, and that'll go on the back side of the ear, and that holds it in place. There's many different styles. Some guys like the ones that kind of hang in the ear, but this is a style that seemed to work good for us. This is the Ytex gun. It's kind of the application there. You can get them numbered and where you can number them yourself, and that's what we do for our calves. There's several different colors out there. We are using right now yellow for our heifers and white for our bull calves. The red are the mother cows. Some guys use blue, white, pink, different variations. Next, I'll move over to the multi-min and the syringes and needles. We always keep many different mil syringes and different size needles. I think these are 18 gauge, 1.5 inch, and 1 inch, which typically work good for sub-Q for your calves, and you can really use them for intramuscular as well. The multi-min is just what it says. It's multi-mineral. We just give it to them at birth. Some guys give an oral supplement like a paste that has some probiotic in it. There's many different things that different cattlemen use for their calves, get them off to a good start. On the extreme end of the spectrum here, I keep an IV set. I've got some needles in my storage and some saline for really bad scoured calves towards life and death, and that's the last resort. So I try to keep one or two of those on hand just in case that should happen. Which brings us up to the electrolyte replacers. Typically, again, there's different variations. This is what we treat the early stages of, say, scours or a really dehydrated calf. Next is this is a esophageal tube, and it can be used to administer colostrum, milk replacer, and those oral electrolytes. And this ball here, it's meant so that you're not supposed to be able to put down the windpipe towards the lungs, but that's not always the case. So to use one of these, it takes a little bit of practice to get it right, but it's not too terribly hard. Next, there's different variations of colostrum, different brands. Ideally, ideal situation if you need to feed colostrum would be to have some frozen, on hand that you've retained from another cow in the herd. But that's a great next option. Have some of them on hand for those emergency type situations. That's just a bottle. Many people have seen those. If we get one that's orphaned or need to give a little extra to, we've got a few bottles on hand. This is the bander for your bull calves. Some guys call these little bands Cheerios. What you do with this, if you've never seen these, that goes around the testicles, and then you release it and it kind of rolls off those and eventually cuts the circulation off to those. And it works fairly good. Once in a while you'll get one that don't or breaks, and you have to come back in and cut them out. But next, that would bring you to like your iodine. We use this to, for if we do have to cut the testicles, you know, we'll spray some of the iodine on them, and also on the navels. I take a little mason jar. Some guys take a sprayer, brush. There's different things, but I take just a little tiny mason jar that I have, dump some of that into it, and kind of slosh it up on the navel, and the mother licks it off half the time anyway. So next is OB chains. These are a must-have. These are kind of a shorter pair, but just an example. And a set of handles is good to have. That's a must-have item. But there's other things that we use, you know, that are laying around here and there. But for the most part, you know, this would be a good start to, you know, planning and having a stock on hand to prepare you for your calving season. So if anybody has any questions on this, or if there's different ways that different items you use or things that work better, you know, I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to share and try to help other folks that might be watching this, and we can always learn something. So anyhow, that's kind of just a quick look at what we have. In addition to these, we have a, you know, calf puller, and that's really a last resort. I'd rather not use that, so we hardly use it here. So, but anyway, hope that shed some light on a few supplies that you may want to round up. My wife was nice enough to let me use her kitchen here. Actually, she's at work still, so I better hurry up and get them cleaned up. But anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you think, and if you have any questions for me, I'd love to answer them. So thanks.